Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yasodhanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishwabhat Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashwatthara Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishwabhat Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashwatthara Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kundgiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Srimati Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai, Sri Sri Gauri Tai Ki Jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi, all Gauri Sudha Samadhivatis, all Gauri Sudha Samadhivatis, all Gauri Sudha Samadhivatis, all glories to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupada, Krishna Prasabhutade, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namide, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Bhacharine, Nirvesesha Sunnavadi Paschatare Tarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeta Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Skanda, 8th chapter, sloka number 40. Narada Uvacha Jananya Abhihitaha Pantaha Saha Vai Nihisreyasasya Te Bhagavan Vasudevaha Tam Bhaja Tam Pavana Atmana. Narada Uvacha Jananya Bhita Panta Savai Nihisreyasasya Te Bhagavan Vasudevastam Bhajattam Pavanatmana Narada Uvacha Jananya Vihita Pantha Savai Nihisreyasasyate Bhagavan Vasudevastam Bhajattam Pavanatmana Narada Uvacha Jananya Vihita Pantha Savai Nihisreyasasyate Bhagavan Vasudevastam Bhajattam Pavanatmana. Sri Sri Gaunitai ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Any Vaishnavis? Narada Vacha. The great sage Narada said, Jananya, by your mother, Abhihitaha, stated, Pantaha, the path, Saha, that, why, certainly, Nihisreyasasya, the ultimate goal of life, Te, for you, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudevaha, Krishna, Tam, unto him, Bhaja, render your service, Tam, by him, Pravana Atmana, fully absorbing your mind. Translation. The great sage Narada told Dhruva Maharaj, the instruction given by your mother, Suniti, to follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just suitable for you. You should therefore completely absorb yourself in the devotional service of the Lord. Please repeat. The great sage Narada told Dhruva Maharaj, the instruction given by your mother, Suniti, to follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just suitable for you. You should therefore completely absorb yourself in the devotional service of the Lord. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Dhruva Maharaj's demand was to achieve an abode even greater than Lord Brahma's. Within this universe, Lord Brahma is supposed to be in the most exalted position, for he is the chief of all demigods. But Dhruva Maharaj wanted a realm beyond this. Therefore, his desire was not to be fulfilled by worshipping any demigod. As described in the Bhagavad Gita, the benedictions offered by the demigods are all temporary. Therefore, Narada Muni asked Dhruva Maharaj to follow the path recommended by his mother to worship Krishna, Vasudeva. When Krishna offers anything, it is beyond the expectation of the devotee. Both Suniti and Narada Muni knew that the demand of Dhruva Maharaj was impossible for any demigod to fulfill, and therefore both of them recommended following the process of devotional service to Lord Krishna. Narada Muni is referred to here as Bhagavan, because he can bless any person just as the Supreme Personality of Godhead can. He was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaj, and he could have at once personally given whatever he wanted. But that is not the duty of the spiritual master. His duty is to engage his disciple in proper devotional service as prescribed in the Shastras. Krishna was similarly present before Arjuna, and even though he could have given him all facilities for victory over the opposing party without a fight, he did not do so. Instead, he asked Arjuna to fight. In the same way, Narada Muni asked Dhruva Maharaj to undergo devotional discipline in order to achieve the desired results. Om Jnana Timidandasya Jnananjana Sadakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakham Vitansya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Paramami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Now this chapter is continuing with the instruction given by Narada Muni to Dhruva Maharaj. Already Narada Muni has given instruction earlier to Dhruva Maharaj. As soon as they met together, Dhruva Maharaj was going out of home, leaving home for the forest, and utter disappointment by the insult he had received from his father and stepmother. So he was in a bad mood, and in a huff he left home, and on the way also, before going out of his home, he met his real mother, that is Suniti. So as mentioned here in the purport, and also given by Narada Muni in this sloka, Jananya bihita pantaha savainihi sreyasasyate. The advice given to you by your mother, Suniti, is very suitable for you. So what advice she gave? She told her son that you go to the forest and there you can meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead and you engage yourself in His service, chanting His holy names and worshiping Him, meditating upon Him. Then when He is pleased with you, then He can grant whatever desire you may have in your mind. So that's very good advice given by the mother. Here the mother can be considered as also as a guru. She is Vartma Padarshika guru. Padarshika means she is indicating the way for God realization and fulfillment of all desire, pointing out that the Supreme Lord only can fulfill your desire. So she is indicating in this way. So she also can be considered as a guru, first guru for Dhruva Maharaj. Similarly, there are other examples of famous Vatma Padarshika. For instance, this Chintamani. Chintamani is also Vatma Padarshika. She told Bilvamangal Thakur that, of course, the circumstances were a little different there. What happened is that she was a prostitute, and by name Chintamani, and before he entered spiritual life, Bilvamangal Thakur was very much addicted to such association. And at one time, it was very difficult to reach the house of Chintamani. It was very heavy rain, a storm, and he had to cross a river. In the river, there was a crocodile. Took help of the crocodile to go on the other side of the river. And then she was on the second floor, so he cannot go from the front entrance. He had to go from the back side. There is no staircase. He has to climb, gradually. And there was a snake there. So he took help of the snake, pulling himself up to the window of Chintamani. Chintamani told him, "Oh, you have come at this time. So much difficulty you had to go through to come here. I'll give you some advice. If you take similar difficulty to go and meet Krishna in Vrindavan, all your life, all your expectation, all your desires will be fulfilled. Much more than what I can do. You go to Lord Krishna, and there all your life will be successful." So at that time, Bilvamangal Thakur took it very seriously, and he left the place and went on the way to Vrindavan. Even on the way to Vrindavan, he stayed for some time in the house of a couple, and there also he became attracted to the house lady, and he became very much disgusted. Why again these feelings are coming after receiving instruction from Chintamani? So again these same feelings are coming, lusty feelings. So he plucked his eyes. He blinded himself. Anyway, he continued his journey to Vrindavan. Finally, he became a great, famous devotee there for hundreds of years. He sang the glories of Lord Krishna as Suradas, very famous in the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya. So this is also an example, Vartma Pradarshika. Sometimes people are asking, can women become gurus? These are some examples, but they are not mantra gurus, but they indicate they are on the same level in the sense they give the same advice. What Suniti advice, what she gave to Dhruva Maharaj, the same advice also Narada Muni is repeating to him. Bhagavan Vasudevastam bhajatam pavanatmana. Pavanatmana means fully absorbing your mind. Don't think of anything else. Just think of Lord Krishna, Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In this way, you worship Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, and in course of time, certainly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will show His mercy upon you, and then you can express yourself, and your desire will be fulfilled without any doubt. So this is the advice given by Narada Muni. He did not give advice to worship this demigod or that demigod, including Lord Brahma, because Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma's territory. Lord Brahma rules over the entire universe. But that was not sufficient, apparently. He wanted a position on the top of it. So that was the desire of Dhruva Maharaj, something extraordinary, which nobody else has expressed earlier. So because it's impossible, any demigod cannot fulfill this type of desire, because they live below. They don't have that much power or authority to give such a post to Dhruva Maharaj. So it is completely out of question to worship any of the demigods. And Narada Muni never gives such advice. He is completely engrossed in Krishna Bhakti. He is specially empowered by the Supreme Lord to preach Krishna Bhakti throughout the universe, from heaven to hell. He always travels, and regardless of the capacity or the eligibility of the candidate, he gives his mercy to everyone who is willing to hear and follow his advice. Just like Mrugari, completely unqualified, very sinful hunter, taking pleasure in half-killing animals. If you kill animals, that's one thing. But he was taking better pleasure in half-killing them. Just like we are hearing yesterday, Srila Prabhupada mentioning that in Calcutta, the Kali Yuga is so sinful age. People take pleasure in half-killing animals. He gave the example of a father in a family, father and son together. The father is taking a chicken and he is cutting by the neck, cutting the head of the chicken. The chicken is moving here and there, flying a few meters, and the father is enjoying the scene very much, that this chicken is trying to fly away without any head. And the son is crying, "What, father, what you are doing? Why you are cutting the head of the chicken like this? Oh no, I cannot bear this. I cannot bear this." The son, a small boy, was very much afflicted by the behavior of his father. This is Kali Yuga, where the moral principles have come down to such an extent. People take pleasure in half-killing or in seeing how others are suffering. So, paradukha sukhi, we enjoy the suffering of others. This is very sinful. So, this hunter, Mrigari, was in the same category. And Narada Muni was going to the forest along with his associate, Parvat Muni, and he saw some animals half killed, struggling for their life. And then the hunter was there, taking pleasure in seeing this. So Narada Muni thought, he is a good candidate for spiritual elevation. He is at the lowest level of life. Let me try to elevate him to a higher standard of life. So he told the hunter that you give up your weapon, you throw it away, and you go take shelter outside the village, and there always chant the names of Lord Krishna. In this way, your life will be successful. So what about my living? The hunter is asking, how shall I eat? If I simply sit down and chant Hare Krishna, then how shall I eat? So Narada Muni told him, don't worry, people will come to you and will offer food to you. You need not worry about that. So this is exactly what happened. And after some time, the hunter, who was no more a hunter, he completely changed his life, chanting the Hare Krishna and the names of Lord Krishna, and without any expectation, but everything was provided by the nearby villages, so he had no worry from that side. And Narada Muni came back to see him after some time, along with Parvat Muni. And Narada Muni saw Mrigari, ex-hunter, coming towards him and going by not in a straight line, but going left and right. So Narada Muni or Parvat Muni asked him, thank you for coming. So why you are walking like this, left and right, not in a straight line? So he is telling that there are ants on the floor. I don't want to harm these ants. So to avoid the ants, I'm going like this in this left and right manner. So that is transformation that Narada Muni has caused in this most sinful personality. So this is an example. Similarly, Narada Muni changed the lives of countless people addicted to sinful activities. But by the potency, he is completely empowered by the Supreme Lord Krishna to disseminate Krishna Bhakti. So by he is the agent in this way. He is the ambassador of Krishna Bhakti throughout the three worlds. Srila Prabhupada took very much inspiration also from Narada Muni. He was singing in the beginning in New York City the song Narada Muni Bhajana Vina. I was trying to find out the song in the songbook, but not there. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada used to sing that song, very beautiful song, in glorification of Narada Muni, who is carrying his veena. You see Narada Muni here, above Gaur Nitai, presiding over the Krishna Kirtan. He is the presiding personality over the Nam Sankirtan. There was, in New York City at the beginning, some of the disciples had arranged a program for Srila Prabhupada to speak in a hall. They had made all the arrangements and given some publicity. So they were hoping that at least some people will come, maybe 100 people, 200 people will come to hear the kirtan and Srila Prabhupada's lecture. So they arrived at that time to the hall, and when they came on the stage, they looked into the hall. Nobody was there. Not a single person had come to attend the program. So it was a complete, apparently, it was a failure. The program was a failure. And the disciples were very sorry about it. And they told Prabhupada, oh, we feel very much disappointed. We are very sorry. You have taken so much trouble and all that. But nobody has come to the program. So they expressed their, in this way, they expressed themselves to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was not sorry about it. He told them, why? Nobody has come. Don't you see Narada Muni? Narada Muni is there. There is a kirtan, and therefore he has come to participate in the kirtan in this way, as per the spiritual standard of Srila Prabhupada. It was not a failure, but it was a success under the association of Narada Muni and other great devotees. The disciples themselves also were trained in that manner, how to arrange program properly, how to listen to Srila Prabhupada, and so on. So there was no question of failure. So that is the lesson that Srila Prabhupada gave at that time. So Narada Muni in this way is so much glorified in the Vedic literature. He wrote the Narada Bhakti Sutra, which Srila Prabhupada studied, and he gave a commentary also that was published in the early Back to Godhead magazines printed from India in the 1950s. So, but he did not complete the Bhashya commentary. Later on, it was completed by his disciple, Saraswata Das Goswami. So in this way, Narada Bhakti Sutra, and the same advice, the same philosophy is given by Narada Muni everywhere. Everywhere he goes, he gives the same advice. Become a devotee of the Lord. Manmana bhavan mad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. Satatam kirtananto mam yatantasya dridavataha. Namasyasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So I remember also here Srila Prabhupada quoted this sloka because I cannot forget how Prabhupada was having the same mission as Narada Muni to propagate the Sankirtan movement in the, according to the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a continuity in the teachings exactly following the earlier acharyas and also worshipping the deity of Radha Krishna. So when Prabhupada came to inaugurate this temple here, August 1976, one reporter came forward. He is from the audience, and so he's telling Srila Prabhupada that thank you very much for opening this temple. It is a very nice temple, but according to me, there is something more than that. To worship the deity in the temple is good, but that's only for the neophytes, less intelligent. No? Those who have not studied properly, they may come here, take darshan in this way. They may be benefited, but that's only a beginning. So what is your advice? Those who are more advanced, I want to know from you, what is your next instruction? Deity worship is there, the beginning, chant Hare Krishna, all right. Uneducated can take to it. What about those who are learned? I want to know what is your advice. So Prabhupada immediately, he quoted, Satatam kirtanto maam yatantasya dridavataha namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Then the reporter is not satisfied, maybe he doesn't understand the quotation from Bhagavad Gita. He speaks like a learned man. He introduces himself like on behalf of learned man, but he cannot understand Prabhupada quoting the sloka from Bhagavad Gita. So again, he argues, no, I want to hear some higher principle. Nitya yukta upasate. Email to Prabhupada. 3-4 times, Prabhupada, he did not speak anything more than that. Nitya yukta upasate. You are thinking this is temporary worship. Krishna said, Nitya yukta upasate. So, this is the proper, genuine instruction by a bona fide spiritual master. He does not consider what the reporter was saying, that is, what the Mayavadis may say, that deity worship is only for the beginners. This is their idea. But the idea of the pure devotees of the Lord, bona fide acharyas, this is not a temporary sadhana. It is the sadhya, it is the complete fulfillment of life. There is nothing beyond that. Nothing beyond chanting Hare Krishna. Nothing beyond worshipping the deity of the Lord, installed by the pure devotee of the Lord. There is nothing beyond that. There are two forms of the Lord, especially in Kali Yuga, the name, Krishna Nam, and the form of the Lord in the temple. So that by worshipping these two non-different from the Lord, Lord Krishna has come as the Archa Vigraha, and he came also as the holy name, his own holy name, Goloka Eva Premadhana, Harinam Sankirtana. So there is nothing more than that, nothing beyond that, and this is the instruction given by Narada Muni and all the acharyas in the line of Narada Muni, coming down to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and especially also our own Srila Prabhupada. Nothing more than that, nothing than chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada also mentions that Narada Muni could have satisfied Dhruva Maharaj in some other way. But as Prabhupada mentions here, his duty, that is the Acharya's duty, Narada Muni's duty, is to engage the disciple in proper devotional service as prescribed in the Shastras. So even the Acharya also has duty. Just like the students, the Sishya, he has the duty to serve the spiritual master. Similarly, the bona fide spiritual master has a duty to engage his disciple in devotional service. By his own potency, he could grant anything to the disciple. But here Prabhupada said, no, that is not the proper duty. The duty of the spiritual master is to see that the disciple is engaged in the proper sadhana, devotional service to Lord Krishna. And that will completely perfect. The disciple will reach perfection by this method. If immediately the spiritual master grants whatever disciples want, then they say, oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Swamiji. Then he goes and he is lost. Disciple is lost. The spiritual master has granted whatever he wanted. Thank you very much. That is all. Everything is finished. No. The spiritual master will see that the disciple is properly engaged in devotional service. And he wants to see that all the disciples are reaching perfection He will not send away a disciple like this so easily. And Prabhupada gave the example also of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna acted as a spiritual master. Sishyasteham sadimam tvam prabannam. Lord Arjuna is asking, please instruct me, be my spiritual master. I'm your disciple. And Lord Krishna, as the Supreme Lord, he could make sure that the battle is ended then and there. There was no need to fight. The Kauravas could have been defeated. Even before that, they could have been defeated earlier. Lord Krishna could have made these arrangements. But everything that is happening in the life of Kauravas and Pandavas were under the direct supervision of Lord Krishna. He was personally present. So, but Lord Krishna wanted the battle of Kurukshetra to happen. He wanted all these asuras, associates of Duryodhana and others, they should be killed. They should be finished. So that is why Lord Krishna came as for killing, annihilating the asuras and putting the devotees as rulers. So the Pandavas, in this way, they had to fight the battle of Kurukshetra, and by the grace of Krishna, they were victorious. But they had to fight. They had to show their strength. So Lord Krishna told Arjuna in this way, Mamanusmara yudhyacha. You remember me and you fight. Not that you sit down on the chariot and I'll do everything I'll do. That for me, for Krishna, that is not a problem. But Krishna wants Arjuna and all the soldiers and the Pandavas to be engaged in this way. The whole battle should be pursued under the plan of Lord Krishna. So that is, as a spiritual master in this way, Lord Krishna also acted for the benefit of his disciple. The disciple must enact. He must not be simply lazy, but he must be very active in devotional service, constantly remembering the instructions he had received from the spiritual master, just as Srila Prabhupada receiving instruction from his Guru Maharaj. He was constantly endeavoring without stop. Even nighttime, daytime, Prabhupada engaged in translating Srimad Bhagavatam and preaching Krishna consciousness as ordered to him by his spiritual master. So that is the formula for success in spiritual life. One must follow strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. That is the bona fide disciple. And the spiritual master does not give liberty to the disciple to engage himself in any material activities that is detrimental to his elevation to Krishna consciousness. Whatever can help the disciple in Krishna consciousness, the spiritual master gives that advice. It may be according to the capacity of the disciple, it may be different, but the ultimate instruction is always to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and to worship the Lord with the utmost devotion and with absorption of the mind without thinking of anything else. Any other questions or comments? All right. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.